Right, well, welcome back. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Now, we're talking about Darwin. I think it's great that we can't replace Darwin until we've got something better. I mean, but there are big holes in the Darwin thing.
There are a number of holes, yeah. I mean, we heard different theories over the years, haven't we? Really, that we evolved from the sea, that we came from fish to mammal, and so on and so forth, and now the monkey, you know, and then to ape and early man. There's even the latest theory is that it's known as panspermia. This is what NASA are calling it, and it's spores of life in space. And apparently it can be carried, the spores of life, you know, little tiny spores, they get hit by meteors and they get carried on it. That meteor comes down, hits on that planet, and hence bacterial life form starts to grow. I mean, we know that we've been to the coldest regions on this planet, down at Arctic, and we've dug down 4 miles into the ice, and we dig it up, and we see bacteria millions and millions of years old. A couple of days out on the thawed, they start to become live again. Yeah. You know, life is very difficult to kill. You know, and it's probably the temperatures down there are not much different than they are in space. So there is a possibility that, you know, there was a program on not too long ago about the mystery of the banana, with it not having any seeds, and they thought, oh, where's the banana tree come from? Because it's come from somewhere.
I never thought of that.
Well, the banana tree grows off another one, it turns into another banana tree, and so on and so forth. Well, scientists were trying to figure out where's the banana tree come from, and they couldn't figure it out.
See, basically, you can't have a banana tree without a banana tree.
There we go.
It's not even a chicken and egg.
Yeah. So one scientist put this theory forward, saying, maybe it was a spore in space and it came down, you know. It's lots and lots of theories, but that's the new theory, this spores in space.
I never even thought of that. A banana doesn't have seeds.
It doesn't, does it?
And you think about it, how strange it is, apart from any other planet you've ever eaten.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. That's amazing. But
yeah.
this is the why this subject is something that, you know, I'm pretty sure you could sit on a Monday morning and you could talk for months and months and just constantly about it, because that is a whole new thing. And it's almost like you'd like to start getting some biologists in and say, come on, help us out.
I mean, they've got to try and work out and what we know today, in the physics we know today.
Because I mean, one of my problems is with this sort of the Darwin thing, and I you know, bless him, he tried his hardest, and I personally think it's all absolute claptrap. Because, you know, if we came from monkeys, then there would be no monkeys. You know, why are the monkeys still monkeys?
Of course, we'd still see evolution taking place. Yeah.
And I think we're too diverse to have come from one species. I think we're, you know, to have developed ourselves from one species. Because you look at generally, I know the different species of monkeys, but you look at an ape. An ape is an ape. They all have their individual characteristics, but they all look very, very
That's
similar.
Right. I mean, there is obviously fossil evidence that there was some type of animals which were kind of very similar to apes and had little tendencies of humanids, and because they walked upright and they had larger brains, and of course we've got smaller brains than them. They had large Neanderthal man had a lot larger brains, and yet we're so much smarter.
Absolutely. But this is that point. I mean, you look at an elephant. An elephant's got a huge brain, but it can't drive my car, and it can't cook an egg. I mean, okay, it's probably feet getting away, but it has got 4 knees.
Yeah,
which is
there's so many mysteries unanswered, and of course it takes time for science to product different areas, you know, and come up with different theories.
But this is my thing with the UFO thing, that this whole new thing's come out that just literally what you've said in the last couple of minutes has actually completely changed my perspective on UFOs, and it has.
I've seen them myself. I mean, I've been investigating them for 24 years.
Yeah.
I've been in the right place at the right time. That's all that's necessary. You don't have to have a belief.
What did you see?
Oh, I've seen things move across the sky which defy any pilot who could pilot them. You know, under normal technology I know of. I've seen things separate into 2 objects and morph back into one. Really? I've seen the so-called flying triangle. You know, it actually flew over my house just one night.
Well, this kind of goes. Steve from Farnham who said he sees lights above his house. That's kind of what he's getting at, because he mentions the triangular shape. Yeah. He sees it, but he says he sees it. He says here, and he often sees it. So I'm assuming it's a fairly regular thing, but. You know, it's no plane. He's not on a flight path. There's no aeroplane. There's nothing else it can be. There's nothing that he knows of.
There's so many things that can be misinterpreted.
There are a lot
in the sky. A flock of geese in that kind of, I know we said geese before and you laughed, but a flock of geese in that triangle formation, when the lights from the streets hit the underside of the geese's breast, reflects. And it can look, I've seen photos, I've never actually seen it in action, but I have seen photos and footage where it can look like something gliding in a triangle formation with the lights. But there's so many things that can be misinterpreted in the sky.
But that's, I mean, again, that's a really good point, because it is about interpretation, and sometimes...
Oh, it is, yeah. And I mean, you probably hear these common phrases all the time about trained observers, and I don't really think there is any. I don't think an aircraft pilot is a trained observer of anomalous phenomena.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean,
Steve saying that he's witnessed UFOs himself doesn't mean to say that he's actually believing that some extraterrestrial being is flying a ship across his house. It's more of a case of he doesn't know what it is. All UFO means is that it's unidentified.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, a triangle, a flock of seagulls, that's a band.
It is. A bad band as well.
You know, a flock of geese, for instance. You know, if you can't identify it as a flock of geese, that is still a UFO.
There's a silent formation of triangular lights flying across the sky.
But I think for me that there's this when you talk about something separating and going back together, you see that for me is some of the best sort of eyewitness evidence, because
so that could be two geese.
Yeah, but they wouldn't separate and come back together again.
I saw some fantastic footage.
Geese don't do that when they fly.
I saw some fantastic footage at a conference once of somebody who'd taken this footage and said it was two UFOs, and they were splitting into four and moving apart and coming back, going back into two and dancing around and moving off at fast speeds and things. It turned out it was actually two flies on a double glazed window that had been taken. So really the things that you can fool people with are quite good. I'm not saying that Steve was full with his, but they can be quite...
But this is, again, the footage thing. I mean, I saw something on the TV about best UFO evidence caught on tape thing. And some of it was really good. I have to admit, some of it was good. But there was one that was, someone was obviously shooting in his in a hotel, and it was, you could clearly see it was just one of those sort of a light shade with a light bulb underneath it, and which is reflecting in the glass. But they've shot it so it looks like that's a UFO flying over the view that they're seeing. But even the narrator saying, you know, experts have looked at this and said there is no way that they can find out exactly what this is.
The thing is how they refer to an expert. I mean, in the field of ufology to begin with, I don't believe there's any experts, because we really don't know what we're dealing with. It's still an unknown phenomenon.
That's a good point.
There are certainly people which are sort of done more research. You know, from the you know, I mean, that UFO research is an investigation. We can sit on our backsides for the next 50 years and become a UFO researcher, applying for information from the Ministry of Defence. It doesn't mean I know any more than they want to give me.
That's right, yeah.
But when I'm out there in the field and I'm talking to people which are absolutely convinced that they've seen something unusual in the sky and they can't readily identify it as any known aircraft they've ever seen in their life. My own father has taken photographs and video footage of different bits throughout the number of years, and we don't know what they are. There are exotic things flying around.
I have to say, I mean, unfortunately, my producer's just been winding me up, telling me that we've run out of time. Will you please come back and continue this conversation about UFOs?
Yeah,
because
sure, we certainly will.
in the last, this last hour, in fact, there's a couple of things you've said that just completely changed my view on UFOs, but also the fact that when you said there are no UFO experts, I mean, got on one of my specialist subjects is that's also true. There's no specialist ghost hunters, because we never caught a ghost.
There was none.
So that's great. And on that, with none of us being specialists on anything apparently, we'll join you next time.
Speak for yourself.
Please join us soon. Bye bye.